This is the Business Marketing and Finance Podcast, the podcast for all your business marketing and financial needs. Get insight from experienced professionals as they delve deep into their passions and share their knowledge each week with your host, Daryl James. Like to follow or learn more? You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button now.
Welcome everybody to the Business Marketing and Finance Podcast, the podcast for all your business marketing and financial needs. This is our Ask an Expert session, and I'm here today with Negus Downer, entrepreneur, upcoming author, longtime friend, single father, and eBay selling powerhouse for the last 10 years. Now, eBay, as we all know, is a huge marketplace with millions of goods purchased each day. Most people just bid, but there's a big range of hidden tools and tricks to help you track down bargains and accelerate your selling. Now, Negus, how's it going, man?
It's going well, not too bad.
That's good, man, that's good. All right, so if we could just kick off with things and talk to the listeners and tell them about the journey on eBay so far, when you got started, how you got started, why you got started even, and some of the problems that you might have faced over the past so many years.
All right, the way I got started in eBay was a while ago, to be honest. Was a case of I was just buying stuff for myself, and then as time went on, I started selling the odd few things here and there. Mm-hmm. But what kind of catapulted me into selling more often was the fact that I lost my job. Mm-hmm. I'd been on paternity leave. I actually asked my manager before I went on paternity leave if if I could adjust my hours so I wouldn't have to be off for the whole 2 weeks, etc. They were like, no, it's fine, go ahead. Mm-hmm. A couple of days before I was due to go back to work, they've actually told me, oh, sorry, your job's gone, we don't need you back, sort of thing.
Wow.
And it was just a case of making it work. Took my last paycheck and basically went to the auction with it. Yeah. All in, man. It was a case of, well, boy, I've got this money here. I've got half a paycheck coming in next week because I didn't do a full week the week prior. And just bought some goods, sold them, and it was a case of just keep repeating the process.
Wow. See, that's a big thing because, a lot of people might be scared to take the plunge. Having, I got money here now, but I need to save the money, or do I spend the money? Because I know a few people that have, over the years that they feel like, I can't really make the leap, I can't make the jump because I can't spend this money. It's not really for this, it's not for a new venture, it's not for, me to practice or to play, if that makes sense. So what do I do? Definitely.
To be honest, that is the scary part of it all. Especially if you're getting involved in auctions as well. Yeah. Because there's a lot of, I wouldn't say hidden fees, but if you're new to it, there may be charges on top of that you're not expecting. So it is definitely good to do your research on that first. Yeah. But I just found that, to be honest, I had no choice. Yeah. It was like make or break sort of thing.
Yeah. Nah, that's cool, man. So how many hours a week are you putting into the business? Is it like 5 hours, 10 hours, 100 hours even? I know you've been selling for quite a long time, so I guess it's not as much as that. But like, if someone's starting off, how many hours would they expect to be putting into the business?
To be honest, eBay, the beauty of eBay is you can put in as many hours as you want or as little hours as you want. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the amount of time you put in is going to be reflected in the amount of money you receive back. Yeah. But I'd say my time on eBay varies. Like the times when I'm sat down, for instance, I'm waiting for my food in a restaurant or something. Mm-hmm. Most people might be on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I'll be on eBay. Mm-hmm. It's as much time as you want to make for it. Do you get what I mean? If you want to have dedicated hours where you're going to say, I'm going to spend 2 hours per day, that's up to you. Like I said, there's times I'm in my bed, been jumping from app to app, and let me just quickly put something up on eBay, and I wake up the next morning, it's sold. It doesn't always go like that, but
that must be a good feeling though. Like, you wake up and boom, you got money in your account that you didn't have the night before. Yeah, definitely. I feel like when it comes to like that type of income, I feel like that's the best income to have, man. You wake up and something that you did before, you're now paying off. You woke up and there it is. Right.
That's right. I've got items. To be honest, some items do move faster than others. Mm-hmm. So that is something, again, you have to be prepared for. Like you was just saying earlier with, people not wanting to take that leap because they need the money, etc. I totally understand that. And I've got an item that I listed probably about 3 weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I was getting kind of cold feet, thinking, damn, did I make the right move? I bought quite a lot. But I made a sale last night, and normally from one sale goes through, then the floodgates open. So the next couple of weeks, they should start trickling through, man.
That's good, man. So one of the things I wanted to ask you as well was, where can people get items to sell? Like, are we talking items around the home, car boot sales? What would you recommend?
I would say it depends on your level of experience, your confidence, etc. I'd say self-confidence is definitely important. There's a lot of people that will wait for validation of other people as to whether something is right or not. But what I've found is using just like a basic formula, just going through your completed listings and such like that. There are like packages and programs and stuff that you can use, but just doing that and just having general knowledge is it's good.
So getting started, and I wanted to sell, I don't know, my first 5 items. Would that be lease auctions, car boot sales?
I would recommend starting with your home.
Yeah.
If you're going to sell, if you're just looking to sell your first 5 items, find 5 items around your house that you've probably not used in the last 6 months, 3 months, something like that. If you've not used it in that amount of time, you probably don't really need it. Yeah, that's true. If you're more passionate about starting your business, or at least just starting, even if you just want to do it part-time, just to earn a little extra income, and you're not actually doing it as a proper business as such. But definitely start around the home. You can go on places like Gumtree, you've got like car boot sales, charity shops, shops in general, supermarkets. You'd be surprised. Like,
so when you say shops and supermarkets, are you talking about on sale items, or like I might be walking past an aisle and just see something on sale, so then I list it, or yeah. Okay.
Literally, if you walk around with the mind frame, like if you're out and about and you see something and you deem it to be a good bargain, if you're in the mind frame of, oh, what's that worth on eBay? Like,
just try.
Just try, man. Like, you'd be surprised of what items actually sell on eBay. You'd actually be surprised.
And what about auctions? Do you like police auctions yourself? Like, I've heard as well. I mean, we've had conversations where you said to me that, you can go into certain websites. What if you could tell, some of the websites that people can actually go to get those?
Is one of them. That's a good website.
iBidder,
Yeah.
iBidder.com?
Yeah, iBidder.com.
Yeah, okay.
So iBidder now, they've got like a host of different auction houses. They all basically list on this website.
Yeah. Okay.
So, cool. For auctions, they're pretty good.
And to list your items or to start the process, what type of equipment would you need? Can I do my camera phone, or do I need to get a whole new camera, or how am I taking the photos? What equipment would I need?
Literally, you can just start with your phone.
Yeah.
That, again, like I said, that is the joy of eBay. You can literally just start with your phone. The way I've got mine set up at the moment, I use a laptop, I use my phone. There is a difference between eBay to your eBay experience via the phone and via the laptop. So personally, I would recommend using both.
Okay.
If you've not got access to both, definitely start with a phone. Okay. eBay on the go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All it is just with the laptop.
Yeah.
You get certain more features are available to you.
And is that browsing the web or that app on the phone?
I prefer the app personally.
The app on the phone. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, that sounds good. And like just talking about listings and the different types of listings. One of them being the auction. Most people probably heard of eBay for auctions.
For auctions, yeah.
How long should an auction last?
Personally, I don't actually list my items by auction anymore.
Okay. Why is that?
I think people's buying habits have changed. People aren't willing to wait 6 days to bid on something. They're probably that busy, you may even forget about it, and then you see it afterwards. And if you're in a hurry, you just want to buy it now. Yeah. So literally, it's buy now or best offer personally.
That's a good point, actually. Do you have any other listing tips in terms of the descriptions or titles or anything like that?
Yeah, descriptions. I'd say sometimes you can put your words in capital if you want. So it just makes it stand out a little bit more within the listings. Try and get as much descriptive words in there as possible, like the colour, the size, whether it's new or not, stuff like that. Condition.
Okay, that sounds good. And in terms of the apps that we could use, I know you mentioned eBay's own app. Are there any other tools that people can use? I don't know, maybe some form of, I don't know, tips or some hidden treasures within it using a different type of app?
I remember there was one called Fat Fingers.
Okay.
And that one was basically would scan typos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To be honest, personally, I don't use those ones anymore. One of the apps I was using is eBay fees.
Okay, yeah.
That one's pretty good. So it will actually calculate the eBay fees for you.
Yeah.
Just have a quick look. There's another one, What's It Worth on eBay. That's quite a good app as well.
What's that? What does that entail? What's it worth?
What's it worth? Will basically tell you what it's worth. It will give you like the averages. Will give you the average price of an item that's sold and actually give you trends on it as well. How often they're selling.
So some really useful statistics on that one.
Yeah, definitely. If you're a statistics person, then it's good.
Yeah.
You've also got that Terapeak as well. eBay have started to introduce. That's pretty good.
What's Terapeak?
It's like their analytical program that they've put together. So if you're an actual business seller, I think it's a business seller, you can actually use that free of charge.
Oh, nice.
Whereas that used to come at a fee of, I think it was $4.99 previously. Okay. You can actually get that free.
And just if you're starting out, would you be using eBay personal or eBay business? Is it better to set that up? Because my understanding is that they're both free.
Yeah.
However, they both come with their pros and their cons, as most things do. So if you were just starting out, would you recommend people go for personal first and then business? Or what's your experience with both?
I would say it depends on what it is you're planning on selling. If you're just selling the odd few things from around the home, I'd probably start off as personal.
Yeah.
If I was planning on going to wholesalers, having like a large inventory of stock, I'd probably go for a business one just so that it gives you that better image, so to speak. But I think when I first started using eBay, I used to read the reviews and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, after a while, you don't pay as much attention to it. Okay. That's me personally, But when you're looking at people and they've got like, you can see their feedbacks on 500, 200, 300. Like, I mean, you've had 10 good transactions, really, like, that's all I need to know.
It's good to go.
I'm looking at your last couple of transactions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you fulfill them on time? Was it, did the buyer have a good experience? That type of thing, right?
And that's it. And most of the time you're protected by PayPal anyway, so it's not an issue, and you just click and buy.
Yeah, true.
Just make sure your listings look presentable. You haven't really made no typos in there. And again, depends on how people view stuff. Like, you make sure you make them mobile friendly. So that it does display well on your mobile as well.
Okay. And that's the actual descriptions you're talking about, yeah? Okay. So in terms of reviews now, people would come on there, they want to get good reviews from their customers. Yeah. Do you have any tips for getting good reviews or how to handle bad reviews?
I would say for getting good reviews, it's a case of what would you like? If you was buying from somebody else, what would you like? What would you expect? And just ask yourself if you fulfilled all of those things. Yeah. Sorry, what was the other...
Just in terms of how you deal with bad reviews as well.
Oh, and bad reviews. Whatever you do, don't stick your head in the sand about them. Keep in touch with the person and just follow through on your word. Be admirable. If you've genuinely made a mistake, if it's your balls up, then obviously you handle that. If you think that the person might actually be trying it on, stand your ground. Do you get what I mean?
Try and resolve it as soon as possible.
Try and resolve it as soon as you can.
And is there a way eBay will step in, or is there a way eBay can just resolve? For instance, I'm a seller and then I have, an issue with somebody, a buyer. They're saying to me it didn't arrive, for instance, and I'm saying, yes, it did. I've got the tracking number, everything like that. Now we're like, who's the winner?
Who's the winner?
Yeah, basically. So will eBay step in then, or what will eBay do?
It's not usually eBay that steps in. It tends to be PayPal that steps in. Okay. And to be honest, PayPal sides with the buyer. Okay. Yeah, like they say, innocent to proven guilty kind of vibe. PayPal isn't like that. They just side with the buyer. Okay. And it's down to you as a seller to prove that you sent that item. Okay. So whatever you do, if your item is valuable, to be honest, if you don't mind taking a hit on it, if somebody was to say it got lost, by all means, just send it without recording it or whatever. Personally, I would always try and record the delivery, make sure you got some tracking information because that's the only way that you're actually protected. there's been times I've actually gone and got a proof of delivery. So I've actually had to hand my parcel to the person in the post office.
Yeah.
So they've received it. I know they've received it. The postman, person in the post office knows he's received it. He's stamped something to say I've received it with the postcode on there.
That it's sending to,
That it's sending it to, and PayPal still won't accept that.
Wow. Okay.
So, like I said, tracking is the best way.
Yeah. I think probably from a usability point of view, PayPal is always trying to find people that will keep on using the service.
Definitely.
As opposed to someone who just makes a transaction and takes their money out of the service.
Definitely.
So I can from a business point of view, I can kind of see why, PayPal does that. I know Amazon does the same. Okay. Amazon usually will, not even just with resolving cases, but just with anything, they just gear a lot of their business model towards the actual buyer, as opposed to the seller. So, the back office and the dashboard of the seller selling, I do a little bit of FBA. The background of the sellers is a whole lot, better for a consumer, a buyer. Than it is for a seller. Definitely. It's like they forgot about it, Definitely. But it's still good to understand the delivery options that you have and what you can do about any form of complaint that comes to reviews.
Yeah, I'd say eBay Shuttle is definitely a good thing to use. I've only just started using that recently, but it's definitely a lot easier.
And eBay Shuttle is eBay's own delivery service, isn't
That's
it?
their own delivery service. I wouldn't even... It is their own, but it's actually teamed up with Hermes.
Okay,
So I'd started using Hermes for the past couple of months anyway.
Okay.
I find Hermes quite good because I don't have to queue up in the post office where the queue tends to be longer. You just go into the shop. They've got a little computer. You just type in the address and the label prints out for you. So again, ink fees, ink charges, for cartridges, PayPal, all of that stuff adds up over time.
It does.
Do you know what I mean? When you're printing off a label, what do you then do with that half a piece of paper? You then put it back through your printer. So you end up with all these little bits of paper all over the place. What I found is Hermes, literally, you just go to the shop and the label prints off, you stick it on, you're gone.
It's a lot simpler process. Much simpler process.
Yeah. And then with eBay Shuttle, that process has become even simpler.
Okay.
Reason being is literally what I tend to do is before I leave to go and do my postage, you click on your items that you've sold, literally just click post now. There's an option. If you've got a printer, you can print it out on your printer. Personally, I'd avoid it. But you have actually got an option where you can print in store.
Okay.
So literally, I take my phone, they'll send me a QR code for each item that I post. They'll send me a QR code. Take that to the shop, literally scan it. As I scan it, 5 seconds later, my label comes out. No typing an address, nothing.
Nice.
Stick it on the package, hand it to the guy, and I'm gone.
And, if for someone who's, busy, they may still have their 9 to 5 or they may be doing other things, again, that makes it a much simpler, quicker process.
Definitely.
For them to get it all done and get it done and dusted and get it listed and sold,
Yeah, if you're organised, there's no reason why you can't actually do a 9 to 5 and still actually do eBay. It just depends on how much you want to scale it. There will come a point, if you are constantly scaling your business, then you're going to have to decide which one actually pays more. But to be honest, there's no reason why you can't actually work eBay around your job if you're organised. And like I said, Hermes, the store I use, they're open until 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that works with most people's
open
work
on
times.
a Sunday as well. So even if it's
good.
a case of you've had a few sales come through, depending on how many days you've specified for delivery, then again, that's another option. You can get your postage done on those days.
And that's good, man, because like you said about, working your 9 to 5 and seeing which one works better. I mean, you've got some people that like to replace their job using this type of business or other income streams. And you've got some people that are just like, oh, you know what, I want a new car. So this business here, this side hustle, is going to actually pay for my, the next whatever car you're looking for.
And that's it. So it's just, you have to just ask yourself, what is it you actually want from eBay? And like a lot of people will ask me, how do you know what to sell? I think that is one of the biggest questions people ask. And to be honest, my answer to that is anything that makes me a profit. Seriously, I've sold toothbrushes, I've sold lighters, electronics, phones, PlayStation games, you name it, I've probably sold it. Vibrators at one point. eBay did take them off. But yeah, man, if it makes me a profit,
no returns on that one.
No returns on that one. Nah, definitely not.
Cool, so how are you looking to scale the business?
Wow, to scale the business.
Yeah.
Okay, just by delving deeper into niches that I found, to be honest. So there are a couple of niches that I found, and it's a case of just expanding on those. Like literally, once you find something, it's like a wormhole. You could just go into that particular product in general. Whereas if I was to go on my eBay now, I've probably got maybe 5 or 6 different types of items, from like clothing, shoes, like I said, electronics. Things that I call fast sellers and slow sellers, I like to mix them up. So, like I said, the slow sellers, they just tick over in the background. I don't really make that much money off them, but I know they make money. And the way I look at it is, if I had that, I don't know, let's say £30 sat down in my bank, it wouldn't be making me any money. So even if it takes me a couple of months, I'm not paying any fees to have my item listed and for people to be able to view my item on eBay. So I look at it as savings. It's just there, isn't it? Every so often, I get a little bit of interest.
True. No, that's a good way. It's a really good way of looking at it. I mean, that's a good, interesting point that you touched on as well. That with eBay, there is no, for the majority of items, there's no listing fees.
Yeah, there's no listing fees,
which is really good.
1,000 items per month you can actually list for free of charge.
Yeah, so it's almost like it's like a win-win situation. So if they're sitting around the house, let's say for instance the kids have moved out, you've now got a TV that they used to have and they're not using anymore. And they're willing to let you have it and sell it. Why not try it and sell it, put it up there, see how much it's listing for currently those type of TVs, and try your luck. It's free at the end of the day, and it can stay there indefinitely or.
Literally depends on how long you put it on for. I tend to put mine on good till cancelled, so it's on for 30 days and then it resets.
It rolls over.
Yeah, it's just constantly rolling over.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I mean, you mentioned the different types of products that you currently have listed. You mentioned clothing, electronics. How are you marketing? Some of these items that you've got listed, and to
be honest, what I tend to do is, say for instance, when I find an item. There's an option on eBay that says sell one like this. I just tend to go for the one that is the highest, because whatever words and features they've used on theirs
seems to be working
for them.
So if I'm browsing, browsing on the app, for instance, and I see, again, let's take the TV example. I'm browsing on the app and I see a TV, a Samsung TV, and it's sold, and I can see it's sold, and I can sell one like that just from that set. Someone has a listing?
Yeah. Okay. So literally, you will have to create your own listing, but what they will do is use the other person's listing as a template, so to speak. You won't have the same description. You will have to put your own description in, but like your actual title will be the same, and all the item specifics, etc. So again, that saves your time. Sat in the doctors, you see something, sell one like this, put it into my drafts, I finish it off later on.
Definitely.
So like I say, you can make it work. Like if you've got 10-15 minutes on your lunch break, you can actually start doing your listings. You get home, start taking photos of the items that you've got.
I mean, eBay is really good. I mean, like, especially if you're moving home and when you get rid of some stuff, and there's so many different examples that, there is. So in terms of getting paid from eBay now, we mentioned about making profit and items sold. How long is it before I'm paid from eBay, and how does that process work?
Usually it's instant. And that's what I like about eBay. Like literally, as an item sells, most of the time people tend to pay for their things within 10 minutes, if that, of an item selling. It's usually just, it pops up and the cash is in my account. When it says it's sold, the cash is normally there.
And that's through PayPal.
I'd say definitely use PayPal via eBay. If you've got stuff where it's collection only, it can be quite long and they don't tend to sell as fast. One thing I will say, if you ever sell anything that way, make sure you deal with cash on collection.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you ever make that person pay via PayPal, they take that item home, collected it, even though you know they collected it, they know they collected it, they can still go home. There's no trace of it, that's right. They can still say that they didn't get that item. Yeah,
man. I mean, is there anything that you'd like to share with, everybody else? I know, like, we spoke about you looking to write a book, regarding eBay. I mean, what's the title of that and how's that going for you?
At the moment, there's no title for the actual book, but it's just based around, obviously, my experience of selling on eBay. Just trying to help other people to have a bit more freedom within their life. You know what I mean? Like, especially the younger generation. Like, from my era, like, literally, if you wanted to make extra money, the first thing most people turn to was drugs.
Definitely.
My approach was, well, how can I get money off these people that are in the community doing those sort of things, and how can I change things so that the younger generations coming up aren't put into those positions where they have to do that sort of stuff, or they can actually see other people doing things differently.
Yeah. No, that's a really positive outlook, man. I mean, I know you got kids yourself. I mean, is it something that you show them and teach them as well?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Like my youngest actually sells stuff on Spock. Yeah. She's 7.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, wow. She actually wants to sell stuff on Spock, wants her own account, everything.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And has she worked with you on any of those?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like they take photos for me. Like I'll get them to do some of the listings and obviously teach them the whole process. Okay, today we're doing posting. Okay, I need you to put all this stuff in the bags, envelope and stick them down, etc. Like, they get involved.
That's really good, man. That's really good. It's always good to get the next generation in there.
Yeah, man, you got to teach them from young.
Yeah, thinking different ways to actually do it apart from, what school teaches you. Because I think school and college and university is definitely useful. I find it's tend to gear towards being more useful for certain types of jobs. Like if you wanted to be a doctor, go to similar with other types of jobs. Being an accountant, things like that. But other things, if you want to get into music or you wanted to get in, to football or something else,
it's not necessarily necessary.
What these days, what would you do if your child says, "Oh, I want to become a YouTube star"? It's not like you can deny that that it works, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like, okay, 10 years ago you'd be like, I don't know about that. YouTube just started not too long ago.
Yeah, true.
I don't know how you're gonna make money. But now you're like, people can be stars on there and make a lot of money. And it isn't always about being stars, but it's about the freedom and independence to do something you love and enjoy, and to get the money, that you want from it. So
that's it. I'd say, for me, in the past, it's been about chasing a salary and chasing a job title. Yeah. Whereas now it's about my happiness.
Exactly.
And this is what I like doing. So this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And, thankfully, having different income streams gives you that freedom to do the things that you like, every single day. I mean, us here now today, we're recording this podcast. It's something I enjoy. I enjoy the microphone, stuff like that. And I enjoy just getting a lot of knowledge and understanding from other people's businesses and what what they do in their lives and things like that. So it's always good, man.
Definitely.
It's always a powerful thing to do these type of things.
Well, like I say, I think it's about as well, people need to change their mindset a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, even something as simple as a catalogue. Yeah. The way I view a catalogue is, that's my personal warehouse.
Oh, nice.
Yes. I can get any of these items delivered to me normally the following day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I've got access to them. You don't need to know where I'm getting them from. Yeah. If I can make a profit on those items, believe me, I'll be making an order. Yeah. I'm ordering items from the catalogue to go and sell to Joe Bloggs in the lobby. Like
that brings me actually to an interesting point when it comes to selling. Because I know with the Amazon route, many people, they will get items from, say, Aliexpress and things like that. Do you do that yourself? Like, go to these type of websites, Alibaba, Aliexpress, Kmart?
I don't tend to use the websites as such. Like, I have heard of Aliexpress, and don't get me wrong, have ordered stuff off there in the past. What I found out, like, delivery times are quite long, etc. You can't always be 100% on the quality you're going to receive.
Very true.
But if you're willing to take a punt on it, then why not?
Yeah.
But generally for me, like, I tend to use like wholesalers. Yeah. Wholesalers go on like stores, like online when they've got sales, etc. So like, it is good when they've got sales, and other times you can actually buy things for full price. And people are willing to pay you twice as much for the same item.
Because this is the thing, I mean, you're always in some people's minds is that, no, I've got it for this price, and no one else is going to pay more than that. But then at the end of the day, nobody has seen what you've seen. So you may have the understanding that, this new phone is worth this much, but the other person doesn't necessarily know that. So you can list it for whatever price you want, as long as there's a trend of it actually selling at that price. So, before you know it, you've made a profit.
Yeah.
Whereas you was probably thinking, no, it won't sell because I only paid for this. But remember, not everyone's been to the websites you've been to or seen the auctions you've seen. So
very true. And not everybody thinks the same way.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Because, for instance, like if you live in an area where a certain product is in high demand, a certain trainer has come out, for instance.
Yeah.
even though you can just go to Foot Locker and buy those trainers, the amount of people in your area that are going to Foot Locker and buying those trainers will probably mean that you don't end up with a pair of those trainers.
There you go. True.
So that's where eBay
that brings me to another point, actually. That I remember me and you was having the conversation, really interesting conversation as well, regarding H&M.
Oh,
and H&M, and when they team up and partner with certain brands like
the different designers, etc.
What was the last one?
Yeah, the last one was Moschino. So you've had Moschino, you've had Versace, Alexander Wang.
And how does H&M do it? So what do they actually do for those that actually don't know?
So basically, once a year they'll collab with these different designers.
Yeah.
They'll have a special collection that comes out. Literally, it's like a limited edition collection.
Yeah.
It doesn't go online until like 9 o'clock that day.
Yeah.
You can't make any purchases before that. If you go into store, you've got to get wristbands, you've got to queue up, etc. You've got 10 minutes to shop.
Really?
And that's crazy, and then you're out.
So this happens once a year. What month does it tend to be?
It's November.
November, is there a date?
November. Dates sort of
kind of
it's normally around about the start of November.
Start of November.
Yeah,
so
if you keep your ear to the ground, you'll find out.
So does H&M advertise it? So it's like a really...
Yeah, they advertise it. Yeah,
okay,
it's advertised and all that.
So one day, a year, I was about to say a month, a year, they would team up with certain brands, designer brands, and sell a lot of the things for cheap.
I would say it's cheaper than what you would normally. It's more exclusive. It's cheaper than what you would normally pay. I don't know. Let's say for a Moschino jumper, it would be cheaper than a normal one. But obviously, it's a limited edition one. After all of those ones are gone, you won't actually be able to get them again.
So can you give me an example of the type of profit someone could make by doing that? So, let's say I'm in Manchester and I want to check out my own store on this date.
Okay.
I've been researching. What type of profits are we talking about on eBay? Because I know you've seen some really crazy profit margins, right?
There's one that escaped me, to be honest. I didn't think many people would buy the dress. So it was the dress that Kylie Jenner wore.
Okay.
I think it was £400 for the dress.
Is what H&M was selling it for?
That's what H&M was selling it for. I thought to myself, if it's $400, I'm going to look to put on at least another $200, another $600. Sell it for like $600 upwards. But then I thought, well, how many people are really going to pay that much for a dress? So I decided to take my money and I bought lots of small items. Still spent quite a bit of money in there, but I didn't come out with that big one. That was probably the biggest purchase there. Looked online, I think it was like a week later, that same dress had sold for £1,200.
Wow.
So I was
3 times the price.
3 times the price.
Wow.
So basically, Balmain was probably the best one. Literally anything you bought, you was probably guaranteed 3 times as much as what you paid for it.
That's good, man.
So my biggest one was I paid, I think it was £40 for a jacket. I sold it for $200.
Nice. So
that was probably my biggest flip on the Balmain one.
Yeah. So there you have it. Like, it's from H&M, as we heard. One day for the year.
Yeah.
Can't get my head around that. One day for the year. Usually in November. And, keep your ears out for the 2019 one.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to be another big one.
Definitely.
So how many items can someone leave the store with? Is it one each of each item? Or?
Yeah, it's one of each item.
Okay.
Literally one of each item.
So
you've got 10 minutes to shop. There's restrictions. And what I would say to you is definitely find out all the restrictions, etc. beforehand, because
otherwise you've been lost when you're in there with the mayhem and the frenzy of everybody running around for their size, right?
Literally.
I want a size 8, I want a size 10.
Literally.
And before you know, if someone's picked it up and you're fighting or something like that.
Fam, there's a day I was in there, I think this was the Versace one, and I'd gone into the store. There's loads of people milling around, like you said, like there's women in there just buzzing around all over the place. I'm in the women's section, probably like one of 3 guys in the women's section. I think there's probably about 15 of you that are allowed to shop at any one time.
Wow. So the queues was crazy.
Yeah, the queues was mad, man. Like the queue outside Bullring was mad.
Yeah.
But I remember being in there, I've asked one of the store assistants, where do I find these particular shoes? The lady was like, oh, okay, I'll show you. Walking slow. She's walking slow. Pointed at the shoes, literally I just pointed at them. Someone's grabbed the shoe off the shelf and walked off with them. Gave me a little smirk as she done it as well. Man, I was gutted. Like, that was worth 150 quid to me. Literally it was like someone taking £150 off me. Obviously, it weren't mine, but if I had got my hands on it, they would have sold, man. Yeah, so like I said, with H&M, you've got to be careful though, because the model I was using was literally you go in, you sell like crazy. So you know, when you was asking me about how long you should leave your listings on for earlier, in those situations, that's when I tend to do 1 day listings. If you can get it down to 3 days, but they've slightly changed how eBay works a bit now. But if you can do the lower ones on something like that, makes sense, because literally if my items didn't sell, I'd send them back to H&M and get a refund on them. So it's, again, like you say, win-win. As many of those little win-win situations as you can find yourself. That's the way to go.
Oh, that sounds fantastic, man. Yeah. Well, Negus, thank you for your time. You know, once again, this has been the BMF podcast, Business, Marketing and Finance. I've been your host, Daryl James. We'll see you on the next episode.
This is the Business Marketing and Finance Podcast, the podcast for all your business marketing and financial needs. Get insight from experienced professionals as they delve deep into their passions and share their knowledge each week with your host, Daryl James. Like to follow or learn more? You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button now.